Okay, so some first impressions. It looks like you have a really good kind of initial setup here. I love that we're very clear about how many units are in a batch and that we're doing batches and how many batches we expect to do. One thing that we might want to be a little clearer on is how many batches it is for a specific time, but we will see, right? I guess that the user could technically adjust that part. All right, so we're saying that the cost per batch, thank you for specifying that this is for a batch of 10 here. So it costs 32 cents, 4 cents, okay. That would make sense. Okay, all these numbers don't look too bad actually. So it costs $6 to make one batch, 97 for all of the batches. Good, okay, love that. Direct labor costs, we're talking about the cost per. Now, if we wanted to make this a little bit, actually, let me make sure it's not over here. Yeah, if we wanted to make this a little bit more in depth, we could talk about, okay, well, we have these different positions. How much do we pay per position? And then how many hours does it take to make one batch, right? And that way you can go ahead and say, okay, it takes maybe half an hour. We paid them $15. So it's $7.50 for that particular department, right? That way the user will be able to adjust those items. It might make it a little bit more user friendly. Factory overhead. So you have all your factory overhead here, and it's good that you didn't separate it out initially, right? Because you're supposed to just list out what's all your factory overhead and then allocate it. However, you would want to allocate these as a total to each one first. Is that? Huh. So we are doing it based on direct labor costs. But how did you just put in this 5? So what we would end up really having to do here is this 113,000. We would estimate the total the total direct labor cost, right? So I'm assuming this has to be per day because for us to spend $113,000 on our factory overhead, and then to say, oh, well, we have $120 on direct labor and $97 on materials doesn't quite make sense. So I'm assuming we have a lot more than 15 of these, right? Okay, but we would go ahead and take our factory overhead costs, allocate it as a total to each, and then apply it. And remember, that would be based on estimated, and then we would apply it based on actual direct labor, right? So direct labor used per each one, and then we could go ahead and do it, and that way it would be on a per batch basis. But yeah, we can't just go ahead and say 5% and 3%. I need to know where those numbers came from. Okay. And then for your totals, let's see what she did here. Okay. Not too bad on that part. So the only area that I'm really seeing that needs a little bit of love is this area down here where we're doing that factory overhead allocation. We can't just go ahead and assign a rate. We have to actually come up with a rate using estimated and estimated factory overhead costs and estimated, in your case, direct labor costs, since it looks like that's how you allocate it. But nice job. Keep up the good work. And really quickly, one more thing I just realized as I was going ahead and finalizing everything. We want to be very clear about what can be changed and what can't be changed. So like, our number of batches, that should be changed. Our cost, that should be changed, right? This looks like it's a formula. So if this is a formula, we would want to make sure it's clear that the user should not change these items, right? So like this right here, it looks like the user is supposed to now come over and edit this while they weren't supposed to edit this. So we want to make it clear that these are the cells that they're supposed to edit. These can be edited. This cannot be edited, so on and so forth. So you want to be very clear about which cells can and can't. Right now, it looks like it would have been very easy for me to think I could override some of these items. Okay. All right. Again, good work.